In this video, I'll be discussing the top 5 changes you need to make in order to become a better trader in 2025. Look, trading is difficult. Drawing lines on a chart and deciding when to buy or sell really isn't the hard part. It's the emotional side of things that are extremely difficult to handle. The emotions that come along with trading are unexpected, but fully take over and put a cloud over your decision making. People don't talk about the emotional side of things enough because it's really not cool or flashy, but it's a huge part of trading that is almost always overlooked. Speaking of that, the last change I'll talk about in this video is one everyone truly makes fun of me for, but it really has a potential to change your entire trading career, so be sure to stick around for it. So in no particular order, let's get right into it. The first tip is risk management. You need to have your risk management in check. Most emotional issues while trading come from oversizing. The oversizing then comes from being way too emotional about the trade setup itself. Each trade setup doesn't necessarily need the same amount of risk, but each trade setup should be the same emotionally. Yes, you can have your specific coins or stock that you like, but that has to be a completely separate thing. You cannot let that impact your risk for the setup itself. What I mean is this. Let's say your risk for a normal trade is $100. You can't be risking $150 because of your emotional connections to the coin or stock itself. Another layer to it is you'll see people on social media have these massive wins and think, well, why can't I do that as well? I've been a little stagnant on my account growth, so let's speed that up a little bit. So you'll risk more than you should, and eventually you'll blow up your account. This happens constantly. Don't be influenced to trade recklessly. People are at different points in their trading journey. You have to remember that. And you have to remember that really this is all just a marathon and it's not a sprint, and you absolutely need to focus on the long term. A trader at the end of the day is a professional loser. We're great at losing. We can minimize our losses while maximizing our wins. Speaking of being a professional loser, number 2 is being comfortable with losing. Just simply understanding and accepting the fact that you're going to lose and go on loss streaks helps a lot. Successful traders have a win rate of, 30%, sometimes even lower, but again, they're still successful. Accept that you'll lose and you're going to lose a lot. On social media, you would think every big trader constantly wins, but this is of course not true at all. People, especially on social media or in your group chats, pick and choose the trade profit screenshots they share. Conveniently, they almost always post the big winners without sharing anything about the losers. And again, losing is a big part of the game, and how losses impact you emotionally will make or break you as a trader. Loss streaks are going to happen. You're going to become more and more frustrated with the current market conditions or your trade setups. This is where you'll be most open to over risking out of pure frustration or desperation, and you absolutely need to fight that urge to over risk. This will be a one-way ticket to liquidation station. The next tip is stick to your trading plan. So many people deviate from their original plan, and it costs them a lot in the end. You should have an entry argument, an invalidation point, and at least one take profit set immediately after you enter into a position. As the trade progresses, it'll either go in your favor or against you, but regardless, you'll become more and more emotional as you're sitting in the trade. You can't be setting a take profit or adjusting an invalidation point in a heightened emotional state. This scenario seriously happens all of the time, so let's picture this example for a minute. You're in a position and price is going against you. You think to yourself, there's absolutely no way I'm wrong on this position. There's no way I'm wrong with this setup. So you make your stop loss even wider than you initially planned. A few hours later, price is continuing to go against you, so you loosen it even further. Before you know it, you're severely underwater and sitting at an unrealized loss of 3 times more than you initially wanted to risk. This is the same for people who adjust their take profits when the trade is going well for them. Again, let's go through another scenario here. You're in a long position, price is pumping away from your entry almost immediately. You feel great, you feel like a genius, so you magically think your take profits are way too low, so you increase those. Well, again, after a few hours, things slow down, prices retrace, and you're left with a lot less profits than you would have had if you had just kept your initial take profits set. You will make a bad decision if you're adjusting things while you're already in a position. Everything should be in place immediately after you enter into a position. I was only going to do, 5 tips in this video, but I'm going to rapid fire a few at the end, so be sure to stick around for that. You need to become emotionless when it comes to the capital you're risking per trade. As you grow your trading account, this number will obviously increase, but for example, if you enter into a trade risking $100, you need to emotionally disconnect from that money. You'll find whatever this number is that fits for you personally. This is going to be different for everyone everyone. It's going to be relative to your trading stack and some other stuff, but it's not quite enough or as little to where you enter into half-assed setups because it's too low. It's right on the edge of, I don't really care if I lose this, it is what it is. Again, let's go through another one of my famous scenarios here that, of course, we've all been through, whether we'd like to admit it or not. But picture this. You enter into a position with more than you're happy losing. The trade initially goes against you, so you close before the invalidation of the trade setup hits. A few hours later, you check the chart, and it turns out your argument was actually correct, and price never hit your invalidation point. You just close early because you risked too much and you became emotional about it. You need to find your sweet spot for risk, and it will truly change the game for you. Greed is such a killer. There's going to be a trade that you nail, profits are going to be higher than you could have imagined, all of your take profits hit, and you're left with a small portion of the original position size. You're staring at the unrealized profits, trying to squeeze the most out of it that you can, but while doing this, you're really not considering how it would feel if that unrealized profit goes down significantly. You're just thinking about wanting more and more profit from the position. The problem with this is if price retraces significantly, you'll be stuck on the feeling of the loss of the potential profit. So let's do this instead. Visualize that amount of money on your desk. If that amount of money was on your desk, would you want to keep it? I know it sounds ridiculous, and again, people make fun of me for this point all the time, but I truly believe in it and I stand by it. Sometimes it's really difficult to equate the numbers on your screen to actual cash. You can apply this mindset to any trade scenario and any amount of unrealized profits. Just visualize it. Numbers on a screen really don't hit you as hard as a nice pile of cash. So my point is, don't be greedy, take your profit when you feel like it, and be happy with it. Don't think about the could've, would've, should've scenarios, and just be happy that you nailed the trade. You can always enter later with a brand new trade setup. A lot of people really don't take the time to be happy with their winning trades. They think that they should have entered earlier, they could have adjusted their take profits to squeeze even more profit out of it, and whatever other negative mindset they may have. Just be happy about the trade. You nailed it. It went well. End of story. So I guess this section was really two parts. Just visualize your profits and be happy with the amount of profit that you took. Like I said, now that we're approaching the end of the video, I'm going to rapid fire a few at the end. Join a community and make friends with people who are on the same trading journey as you. You'll be able to motivate each other, lift each other up during loss streaks, or keep you grounded during big wins. Another one is always remember that trading is a marathon. Trying to speed run immense wealth through trading is a perfect way to speed run your trading stack to zero. Journal everything. Speaking of this, actually, I think I'll do a video on how to create a perfect trading journal and one that you'll be able to use throughout the duration of your trading journey. And finally, emotions are acceptable after a position is fully closed. You have to be, unfortunately, an emotionless zombie while in a position. Emotions will make bad trading decisions. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch. And if you could, drop a like and a sub while you're at it. I'll see you guys in the next one.